Hey guys, hey, it is now 6 o'clock. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started here. I thank you all for joining me here today. I decided to jump on here because we are in full week 2 of 6 weeks to fit. And I'm super duper excited for you to be able to lift heavier. I saw a lot of momentum in the groups the other night and the other morning. You all are powering through your fitness routine. You are showing up for you, and a lot of you are showing up on the app, tracking your data, tracking your workouts, and your workouts are part of that data, right? Because you want to be able to look back after this is over with and have a resource of how did you do it? You want to be able to track that. How did you do it? So I decided to pop on here this evening so that I can offer you another layer of support. As a part of our mindset challenge, we have a guest that's coming this Saturday. I'm super duper excited about that. She's coming here just for you all, and it's a part of our mindset challenge to help you understand why we do the things that we do and to help you understand that you can make this a lifetime choice and decision to get into the best shape of your life and to live a healthier lifestyle. You don't have to be bound by the things that you have going on in your life. So as I think about that, I popped into the app today and I sent out to the people who have been tracking their data from their nutrition. I sent out to them some suggestions on how to improve their nutrition and what they are doing in their nutrition that is going to take them to another level. The other thing I want to mention is some of you are tracking and some of you are not. And it reminds me of a time when I decided to be, and you probably heard this story one time before, but I'm going to tell it again. When I decided to be a Strong by Zumba coach, I didn't have a really, really strong why I wanted to be a Strong by Zumba coach. I just knew that I saw this amazing trainer online. I was laying in bed one night and she had powerful punches and she had abs and she was ripped. And I said, my God, what would it be like to be on stage and for people to be able to look at me like they look at her? I said, that would be totally, totally awesome. Totally awesome. And I said, from that moment on, I said, man, I'm going to become a Strong by Zumba coach. Yeah, I had started in 2017 opening up the studio, and I was hit with this idea one night laying in my bed. And I said, I'm going to become the Strong by Zumba coach. And so I told my husband, he said, oh, okay, but what does this involve? I said, well, it involves me doing an 8-hour training to get the licensure to becoming the coach. And I have to get the licensure to the music. So I have to pay a monthly fee every single month to have rights to the music, to learn the moves. But I was so just inspired by her moves and the way she looked. And I had just really started out. I hadn't lost a whole significant amount of body fat. And I really, really, really wanted to be an awesome trainer. And so I tried that on from a comfortable place. Well, long story short, I went to Atlanta and I trained for a day, 8 hours. It was thrilling. It was exciting. And it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do before in my life. Okay. I thought I would die any minute because we trained for 8 hours. And if you've ever taken a Strong by Zumba class, it's a HIIT workout. So you are training at a high level of intensity. And she was the most amazing woman that could really bring out all of the energy out of you. So I was like, man, and people were just coming up to her and said, you are great and you're amazing. So I tried all of that on. And so at the end of the training, we got this big, gigantic manual. Okay. A big manual that said, all right, there are going to be quadrants 1, 2, 3, and 4. I said, well, no big deal. I've been to school, so I can study. I can learn all the quadrants. the thing about, and I used to cheer back in the day, so I know, down beats, and I know when to change rhythms and all of that stuff, right? Cheerleading and counts. And so I got home and I was like, when am I going to get started? Okay. I got the manual. I was able to download that online. She had printed it off for us and send it off, um, to say, get my certification. So I got the licensure. I had to send off the little thing that I had attended this thing, the all day training. And so I got that. And her, Renee, I remember her saying, you only get into this what you put out of it. I was like, oh my God, this thing is kind of thick and I got to learn all of. Where am I? Okay. I'm back. I am back. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. My son called me. All right. So Strong by Zumba, right? And so I started going through all the materials and then I started second guessing myself. And I was like, do I really want to be a Strong by Zumba coach? And why did I want to be a Strong by Zumba coach again? And why did I pay all this money? And how important this is to me? And I've told all these people and I put it all out online and all the gold tinsels and bells and whistles that go with being this strong, forceful coach. It looked really, really good. It felt really, really good to try it on from a comfortable place in my bed. But yeah, okay. And so I went on and I learned quads 1, 2, 3, and 4. And every month, you were going to have to make time to learn the next phase, right? Because the muscles adapt after every 4 weeks. They say, okay, well, you can at least wait 4 weeks and then learn the new quadrants, all four of them, because they are in sequence according to this music. And I'm like, how am I gonna do that? And I teach already, and I got a family and I already train. And how am I gonna make this work into my schedule? And so I was trying one day in my kitchen and I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna ever get these moves. I was messing up. And I was like, you know what? After about a year, I kept telling myself, you can really get this. You're just not trying hard enough. You're just not applying yourself hard enough. This is something that you do. And so what I see is in fitness, and when people purchase fitness programs and when people purchase meal plans and all kinds of different things, they really kind of want it to want it. And I want it to want it. I want it to make myself want it, right? And I'm saying all this because one of the main reasons that people don't follow through with their fitness goals and fitness plans is because, one, they just kind of want it to want it. And my why wasn't strong enough to continue to want it. It just wasn't. And so I made that something about me, the person, instead of just saying, Kim, you just really did not want it. You just didn't. You just didn't want it. You thought you wanted because you tried it on from a comfortable place and it felt really good. But once I was met with all of the things I had to do in order to be successful, because people can tell, man, when you're faking it, right? And when you haven't practiced. And so that's what it's like choosing a fitness program when you're laying in your bed from a comfortable place and you're trying it on and you're looking like, oh my God, what would it be like to have a fit body? What would it be like to lose the weight, to lose the body fat, to have quads, to have abs, to have arms, and for people to actually look at you like that, not realizing that this is only a hypothesis in my mind. I don't have the data, right? I don't have any data to back that up. Okay. And so most of my ego was involved when I chose this and made this decision. I didn't want it from a place of, um, I wanted it from a place of serving myself more so, right? because a little bit of my hurt self was, a lot of my hurt self was still there. I was still healing from my hurt self. So I needed something to grasp a hold of. And this was it. It even reminded me of when I was back in high school and how people would say, oh my God, you got to be there. Are you going to be at the party? Because you are the people person. You are, the party doesn't get started until you get there. So it gave me all of this triggering of back then, right? And I was bringing it into my now, but it wasn't enough to want it. It just wasn't. And so instead of telling myself, well, you just wasted all that money. And it was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. It was a lot of money. Instead of just saying, I thought that I wanted this. I didn't want it. Did I have a missing resource? Maybe. I could have reached out to a coach. I could have been coached along. I didn't even want that because I just didn't want it. I just didn't want it. I just didn't want it. And it didn't make anything about me personally, but I just didn't want it. And so what happens when we purchase fitness programs, or when we look at all the material, all the things that we have to actually do to get to the place that we want to be, it can become overwhelming. And when that alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., or if it's 6 p.m. in the evening and you got to get here, you begin to ask yourself, like, why did I say I wanted abs? And how much belly fat was this? And maybe my back is just really okay. And you know what? This food thing is not so bad. And maybe I'm just going to be like this for the rest of my life. And I start having all this self-doubt, and I start thinking about, maybe I just really didn't want it, and maybe I just need a missing resource. Sometimes women, and I say women because that's who I coach. I don't coach men. Women just have a missing resource. Maybe it's just a missing resource. Maybe the missing resource is your plan. Maybe I haven't planned on what I'm going to eat today. Maybe I'm just eating food, and man, I'm not really having my phone open. I'm not really going for anything. I'm just eating, right? I'm just kind of eating to be, I don't know. Sometimes people will say, I'm eating to be healthier. And then I asked, I had a friend one time, another short story. She said, Kim, she had started running. She wanted to help her husband out. Long story short, she said, I want to eat healthier. And I said, well, what is your plan? She said, well, the plan is to eat healthier. I said, no. I said, well, what is your plan? She said, the plan is to eat healthier. I said, well, what happens? Tell me about you eating healthier. That's why I don't coach friends. But she said, so every morning I wake up and I have this thing. Where I grab coffee and I grab a donut on the way to work. And every night I lay in my bed and I promise myself that I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to have my cup of coffee and I'm not going to have that donut. And I said, so what happens? She said, well, in the morning I get up, I grab my coffee and I eat the donut. She said, and I don't understand why I continuously eat this donut. I don't get it. I said, well, silly, you're human. She said, I know that, but why do I keep eating the donut? I said, because you are a human being. And in the morning, you don't understand that your brain and your body are different. You have an ideology, which is your most perfect self, right? You know what that looks like. You know that you see this person waking up in the morning. You're not eating the donut. You're grabbing your coffee. You're heading out to work and you're having a great day. That is your ideology, right? And you're getting fit and healthy and strong. When you wake up in the morning, your body hits a feeling. And your brain knows exactly what you need, right? But your body does not always know what's good and healthy for it. It just doesn't. Your body is triggered by a feeling on the inside of it. And when you get up in the morning, your body says, okay, you've had your coffee. What do you think you're doing? You know that we have our coffee and our donut and we sit here and we relax a little bit before we head off to work. What is going on? Right? And so your brain and your body are going to battle against each other. Your brain cannot communicate with your body. Your body doesn't always know what's best. Your body only recognizes comfort, right? Because your body is trying to get back to that place of homeostasis, balance, your body is automatically triggered. It's triggered because you have established a routine for your body. And so when people say, well, I'm struggling here, I'm struggling with this sugar, I'm struggling with fast food, I'm struggling, and it's because it's coming from your body. Your body is trying to make itself comfortable. And your brain is saying, no, no, you know what you told yourself, you know. And then you start having all of these negative thoughts and saying you're never going to get it. You're lazy, you're lacking, you're limited. You've been here before. If you lose the weight, look at you now. You're not going to be able to maintain it. And people quit because they don't want to battle the body and the brain. It's simply because they don't understand what is happening. So your body does not always know what's good for it. It just doesn't, right? Your body is created for you to survive. Even the most life-saving surgery, your body doesn't understand what's going on. Your brain does. It does. Your brain does. The problem is we don't live here. We don't live in our heads. And so we have to tell ourselves or replace it. So I told my friend, I said, so if I were you and you were me, what would happen in the morning is I would get up, I would get the coffee, and then I would immediately head out of the door and replace it with something else. Like, you got to replace it with something else. That's a failing point. You're not a failure. You've reached a failing point, right? You got to replace the donut with something else. You just can't go straight away to where you want to be. It doesn't work that way because the body doesn't understand. It just doesn't understand. The body wants what it wants. That's just how it works. And so what has happened is, as a child, we have been made to feel really, really shameful when we could not achieve something or could not accomplish something, or when we went for a place of comfort. You were called lazy, you were called lacking, you were called limited, you were called all of these names to make you feel bad. Your parents, they were well intended, they were hoping to create some type of energy on the inside of you so they wouldn't feel bad as a parent, like, oh God, I'm raising this lazy child. You know, they were feeling bad. So, and we're all a little bit jacked up. I'm just here to tell you that, right? So in order for them not to feel bad, they punished you because they were suffering. And so that's how you learned that mindset. When people suffer, we punish. And you punish yourself when you don't keep your commitments to yourself. You say, I'm going to get up in the morning, I'm going to go to the gym bright and early. I set the alarm clock goes off. You hit the snooze button, you go back to sleep. And then when you do wake up, you say, you know what? I knew you couldn't do it. You were not going to do it. Why do you keep making these promises to yourself? You're never going to get this, right? You want to punish yourself and make yourself feel bad so nobody else will. You don't have anybody else around to punish you. We're all adults. But the thing is, we're all adult children. We actually are grown up, but we have that little girl that's on the inside of us that still needs to feel safe and secure. And it's okay. You're not lacking. You're not limited. You're not lazy. You're the most purposeful, amazing, created person, human on the planet. And you do deserve to be here. You do deserve to be healthy. And it's not your fault. So you're here to understand that you will have failing points along this journey. Here's what you need to understand. Your reason for, because we all seek some type of comfort. If you're more comfort driven mentally, then you need to see, how do you get over that? What do you need to do to overcome that? Right? So if it's cold, if it's dark, I don't want to get up. I want to lay in my bed. Right? My mind is telling me that. So if you're more comfort driven physically, I need a blanket. I need my robe in the morning when I drink my coffee. Right? I'm more comfort driven emotionally, not physically. I can kind of brave the cold. You see me outside with shorts on. It's 45 degrees. Okay. I can get past that part. emotionally, if I've had a bad day, if things didn't go the way that I saw them to go, right? I won't unpack it. I'll keep it hidden. But I will eat it, okay? Because to calm those emotions, I need food. Food makes the body feel calmer. It sends a signal to the body that says, oh, that feels good. I like that. Give me some more. And 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 give me some more until the whole entire bag is gone. Right? Maybe that's never been you, but that has been me in the past, and it still can become me, right? It can. The difference now is I am aware of when my emotions are out of sync, right? And so when my emotions are out of sync, I have to ask myself, what is really going on, Kim? What is happening with you today? Right? Why are you going for this instead of that? What is going on? Is it some conflict that you needed to have stepped into that you did not? You decided to remain silent because, as little girls, we are taught, we are conditioned, we are socialized not to ruffle feathers. We are. And men and boys are raised to use anger and display anger and not to cry. You got to hold your emotions in. Don't you cry. But here's the thing. We're all socialized differently. But here's the thing. Your emotions, whatever you're packing down, it's going to come out eventually in some other form. It's going to come out. It is. And so what we have to learn along this journey, because this transformation is more than about just weight loss, right? It's more than like I was going for the look. I was going for the stardom of my coach, Renee. I was going to be the star of Strong by Zumba, and people were going to look at me and admire me. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The thing I want you to understand is you can choose you for the rest of your life. There are pain points in life, and you have to look at your pain points. There are pain points if you sit down with your spouse and they're eating a certain meal and you feel sad. You feel like I need to be a part of this. I need to be eating what they're eating to feel a part of this relationship. Okay. If you're with your family, your friends, your children, if you feel like I need to be eating what they're eating in order to feel a part of this, that's a pain point. That keeps us stuck. And that's why people say, I don't see how I can do this for the rest of my life. If food and being a part, because it's not the food, it's feeling included and being able to tell people, I'm good over here. I'm still eating, right? I am eating. I may be eating something different, but I am eating. I am eating. So people don't follow through for reasons of what matters most. There are a lot of things that matter in life. My health matters. My wellness matters. My spirituality matters. My relationship with my husband matters. My children, they matter. My career matters. I had a lady the other day to walk in my office, and people are well intended. Your spouse, your significant other, your children, everybody. I can't say everybody. Well, sometimes people are not well intended, right? Sometimes they're not. And that's just the truth of it. Well, she walked into my office and she said, we were in conversation about something. Oh, I was congratulating her. She had just gotten her PhD. And she said, oh, yeah, I'll just be glad when we're time for Thanksgiving and Christmas and over the holidays, we get ready to take a break. And she said, well, but you won't be taking a break. Now, I don't know where this came from, but, I know people. So I studied behavior for a long time. She said, but you won't be taking a break because you are going to be working out. Now, the people pleasing Kimmy would have had to make her feel comfortable in the past, because I would be like, oh my God, she's looking at me like I'm working out and she's not working out. How can I make her feel comfortable in this moment? The people pleasing Kimmy is looking for the answer. I'm looking for the answer because it's triggering an emotion inside of me and I don't feel comfortable. The new Kimmy says, you know what? You're absolutely right. I will be working out over the holidays because working out is my lifestyle. I've made it a part of who I am. And I need to feel the energy. It gives me what I need. I have energy to go all day long. I feel good. I have the stamina to go all day long. My mind is clear. Yeah, I love working out because working out helps me to fulfill the physical, the spiritual part of my life. It does. Yes. I feel really good. An emotional part of my life. It does. I'm able to manage stress better. So working out is a part of my life and I have to get what I need. And it felt really good to say that. It did. I have really grown. I was really proud of myself. So yes. And so I'm sharing that with you because the people in your life are well intended. Girl, you still eating that? How long are you gonna be working out? Are you on a diet? Really? It is the holidays. When is that over? Okay. You started that last January. It's not over with yet. Are you still working out? What? You walking today? Oh my. No, I'm not gonna be able to join you. Well, don't come with us right now because you're on that. You eat different, girl. You're gonna have to go over there. Because you eat different from the way that we eat. So, and people become very uncomfortable with you. So you have to actually know you. This is going to pull out some strengths within you and yourself, right? And so the reason why, the last point I want to make, because a lady asked me this the other day, she said, well, why do I keep yo-yo dieting? Why do I keep grasping for this and grasping for that and grasping for this? And I'll lose a little bit of weight on keto and I'll lose a little bit of weight on low carb and I'll start walking for a while and then I'll stop and I'll just give up on everything. And I asked her, I said, well, what are you going for? What are you really going for? I mean, what are you going for with walking and doing keto? And what is the end game here, right? Because if you're doing it just to lose a little bit of weight, once the weight comes off, then what? Then what? How do you manage? How do you manage? This is lifelong. So you have to work towards changing your mindset to this transformation being lifelong. It's lifelong. No, it may not be working out with Kim forever with the intensity of the workout. It may be a Zumba class. It may be walking on your own, but it's going to be some commitments within yourself that you're going to need to make. And if you're having a challenge making those commitments, you got to dig deep to ask yourself, what is it that I need to overcome to commit to me for the rest of my life? Am I a conflict avoider? Am I a people pleaser? Do I try to make everybody else happy? Am I afraid of the other person's reaction? What is going on? What is really going on? Yeah, and so that's what I told her. I said, that's why your weight goes up and down until you decide to choose you and choose a why and overcome all of the reasons why you don't follow through, right? Her husband's a pastor and she said, I have to be at all these places and all these churches and blah, 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 and blah, 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 and blah, blah. And I said, I get it. And I said again, reiterate it until you decide to choose you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what she's really saying is, I feel like I need to be able to fit in with these people. Yeah. They may look at me differently. I'm the pastor's wife. I don't want them looking at me differently. They're going to judge me. And they might. Or you could be the change that they need. That's how we break generational curses. It is. It's challenging. It is challenging. It is. But that's how it's done. Yeah. So next week, really, really quick, I got 1 minute left. We will be lifting a little bit heavier. Go ahead, make plans. If you have not made your plan, it's not too late. Write down your list of foods so that you can go grocery shopping on Wednesday. It's midweek. It is midweek, right? So midweek, I shop enough up until Wednesday. And then midweek, I shop again, right? To make it work, You have to break the thing up to make it work. Make it work for you. Yep. If I were you and you were me, this would be my opportunity to get the best out of the next 4 weeks. Saturday starts week 3. See you tomorrow.